Alrighty, in today's video, I'm going to be making Wednesday Addams vest again. You'll be like, hey Michelle, don't you usually show the finished project at the end of the video and not at the beginning of the video? That is true, but this vest I made back in 2022. I think it was 2022. And let me tell you, I've never worn it. I have never worn it outside the house, okay? This was a very time-consuming project that I did, and I never wore it, okay? Because of many things. First off, the yarn choice, not good. Number two, I hate the fit. I don't like the fit of it. I don't like the fit of it, okay? I don't like it. And also, when I was doing it, I was really trying to stay true to the pattern. I do want to shout out to the creator who made this, which was Alice Morel Evans. They are the one who made the original vest, the one that's seen in the show. I was trying to stay very true to that pattern, but the pattern that was made was used with like wool, like a DK weight wool. This is not. This is like a light 3 acrylic yarn by Patons. I'm really bad at saying that name. Because I was really trying to, you know, replicate the exact same thing that they had done. I made it way too big. So like, as you can see here, this I had to fold over because it was like out to here. Also, this was like one of the first vests I made. I'm pretty sure y'all know how I have difficulty making vests, okay? I think my skills have gotten a lot better in the last like 3 years. So, you know, I think I can do it better this time. And I was trying to make it look exactly like the one on the TV show. Unfortunately, that style does not suit my body type, and I really just don't like how this fits me. Okay, I also don't like how long it is. And I think it was longer. Yeah, it was actually longer. I think it was like down to here, and I cut it because I had finished up here. No way was I gonna take it all apart. No, I cut it. And then I did an edge on the bottom, okay? Like, yes, it does look kind of nice. Like, seeing it on camera, I'm like, oh, this is like cool. I love seeing it on camera, and I think it's the back, same on the back. I really like how it looks on camera, but like looking down on me, it looks like I'm wearing a potato sack, and I'm very uncomfortable. So I'm gonna do it again because the new season has just come out, like part 1, and then I believe by the time this video comes out, part 2 should already be out. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, right, I really like that vest. I really wanted that vest to work for me, and it didn't work for me, so why not do it again? I have better skills and better yarn. The yarn I'm gonna be using for this project is Hayfield Bonus DK acrylic yarn. I love this yarn. I especially love how it blocks, okay? I've made like a lot of projects with this yarn. I think the biggest project and the most successful project I made was my houndstooth sweater that I made for my birthday last year. That was with this yarn, different colors, but the same yarn, and I steamed that. Oh my goodness, it flows so nice. It is so comfortable. It is such a great acrylic yarn. Now, yes, I could have went with a wool yarn or like a cotton mix or really anything. I know how this works and I know how it flows, and I did actually make a vest last year with wool yarn, and I just did not care for how it turned out. It was just a little bit too chunky. I just didn't want to chance it. Also, this yarn is on the less expensive side. So here we go. That's it. It is 100 grams. It is 306 yards, 280 meters. Price of this was $6.25. The tag is on this one, not on this one, because as I was walking into Crochet Club last Tuesday, this one doesn't even have a price tag on it because she literally got the shipment of Hayfields, I think that day or the day before, and they were still in boxes. I got them out of the boxes before they even hit the shelves. But this one here is actually in the shade cream. It is not a white. I believe this here is a white. I like an antique white. I like a creamy white. I just don't like how bright this like white is. And I just think, I know this, you're probably like, Michelle, it's the same color. Like, what are you talking about? It is a little bit more creamier. Okay, and I really like that. Think antique white by Pound of Love. Don't let me get on a rant about Pound of Love right now. I'm upset with them. Anyways, here's the plan for this. I don't have one. I literally just finished making this. I do have a video for it if anyone is wondering about it. This top took me 20 days to make. I wasn't really thinking about any other project. And then when I'm done it, I'm like, oh, I probably should do another project. Also, when I had made this, it was a little bit before I started taking notes on my projects. So I don't have a grid for this. I don't have any notes. I don't know how much yarn I used for it. So really, I'm just basically starting my new project from scratch. What I'm thinking is, first off, I really don't know if I like the length of this, because that was the other thing, is that when I was really trying to be true to the actual pattern, well, I'm like, well, I gotta go so far up before I can start the neckline. And it's like, you know what? I'm the one wearing it. I'm gonna make it how I wanna wear it. The width of it is okay. It is a little bit boxy, but again, because I am using the Hayfield yarn, I know that when I steam block it, it is gonna be so beautiful. Like the flow of it is going to be amazing. I think I definitely wanna bring the shoulders in a little bit. Length, if I want it to be more cropped. So what I'm thinking is I'll just work my way up, and then when I get to, did I sew those together? Are they sewn together or are they one piece? I did make them separate. In the original video, I actually made all the pieces separate. This panel, I made these panels separate, and then I sewed them all together. So for this one, that's not happening. I am going to sew it all in one piece. And now that I'm like much more confident with that style of crochet, I think I'm going to be okay. I think at this point in time when I had made this, I made maybe 2 or 3 tapestry projects at that time. So, you know, I was still really new to tapestry and like yarn bobbins. I don't even think I had yarn bobbins yet. Okay, so this was way back, and now I'm remembering I did sew all the pieces individually and then sew them together. The front piece is going to be all one piece and the back piece is all going to be one piece. Now again, it all depends on the thickness of yarn. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to turn out, because I think the yarn that I'm going to be using for the new project is a little bit thinner than this one. Maybe I make it the same size and it's just a little smaller, but then I steam it and it becomes a little bit bigger. I really hope that the new version turns out better than this version, and I'll wear it. If you are new to my channel and you like crocheting and yarn and thrifting, the 80s, vintage, retro things, why not hit the subscribe button? So I am starting the new project. This is the old one. Looking at it, I believe I did, these are either single, are they single? I think these are single. They're either single or half double. No, they're single. So these are single. Yesterday, I did make a little test swatch and I steamed it, because before steaming it was a little bit thicker than I would have liked it to be. But after steaming it, it's actually pretty good. And I like it. This was done in double crochet, and I think that's what I'm gonna do for this project. My new project is do it in double crochet, because I really like how flowy it is. So again, this one here I did in sections. So like that was one, that was one, that was one, that was one, that was one. I think like in the original one, you could see the pop of color, like the opposite color show through. I kind of wanted to replicate that, but again, I've already made a replica. This is my own version of this. So I am tweaking things. So I'm not gonna be passing the color or whatever in the backside. I think that it makes it a little bit thicker when I do that, so I'd prefer not to. But yeah, we'll see how far I get today. I've got almost 2 rows done, but looking at it, I'm not happy with this. I don't like how this is looking, because when you look at this one, like you can clearly see like a line between the two. I think it just looks so much better with like a panel and a panel, which I didn't want to do. I'm not in love with how like this looks. It doesn't look like there's a nice clean line or break between the colors. So I think I'm gonna take this apart tomorrow, because I don't really want to do it tonight. I also want to like sleep on it. Like, what if I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, you know what, I should do this, or it's not as bad as I thought, and then I've taken it all apart. I think I'm gonna redo it the same way I did this one. Yeah, like here's the thing, like yes, I know I'm gonna have to sew more things together than I wanted, but it will save me so much time doing it individually, because then I'm not swapping the yarn and like it's getting all tangled. Where like this, all I have to do is just crochet black yarn. And then over here, I would just have to swap black, white, black, white, black, white. It will make more sense. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I did switch. I forgot to film. I was just so entranced of trying to get one done to like make sure it's good. It did not take me that long to do it, thank goodness. Squares are a little bit bigger. They also might look like they're a rectangle, but when you stretch them, see, when you stretch it, it's a more of a square. It's also a lot thinner than this, and of course I will be steaming it, so it's going to get even thinner than this. I also think that this is way faster than the other way, because the other way I had to keep swapping yarns, and it was a whole thing where like this didn't really take me that long. I am going to be putting stitch markers on what I think is the front of these panels, so then that way when I sew them together, I know what the front and what the back is. Really needed to do this one first so I knew how long to make it, because Either I would keep going with another square or I wouldn't have done another square, but this will give me the amount of rows that I need to do for the black stripes. The black strips are the same length and size of these strips here. So this would be like the middle piece. And so now I'm gonna work on these. Hopefully I can get one of these done. And I hope this project does not take me too long, which would be great. I'm working on the back right now. Again, I always find working on the back of a project is a lot easier because a lot of times in the front, if I'm doing a collar or something, I don't know where to start the collar, whereas I know the back panel is just gonna be completely flat. That's gonna go there, and then that's gonna go here. And then I have to do the two side parts. What I'm actually gonna do a little differently for this one is instead of sewing it all together and then giving it a final steam, I am going to be steaming them separate. They're all gonna be steamed individually. I'm gonna lay them down on a mat. I'm gonna pin them. I'm gonna make sure they're all the same size. I'm gonna steam them, and then once they're steamed and like flowy like this, you see how nice and like drapey this is? That's what these are gonna become. So I figure if I steam them separately, so when I sew them together, they're not gonna be super tight where I sewed them. I feel like if I were to stitch them and then seam them, the stitching isn't gonna do this. It's not gonna be flowy. It's not gonna be what I want. It's still gonna be really tight. We're gonna have to see how that turns out because I've never done that before. It's so weird me working on the same project. This is the original one, and as you can see, the squares are a lot bigger. Also, I really like this color white than this one. This one's just a little too bright. I had to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 whole squares I didn't have to do. If you stretch them out, they look more like a square. I'm fine with this. I feel like if it was one square down, then it wouldn't look right, so this is okay for me. What I've decided to do for this part, like the two shoulder seams, as you can see, I would do one full one and then I did a half. I'm actually gonna do how many squares up, and then when I get to that point where I know this is the arm opening, I'm going to just do one square of each instead of doing double. I think that's gonna fit really nice. And you know what, if like I try it out, I'm like, oh, I wish this was a little bit wider, I'll add some ribbing to it. It's not a big deal. I've actually got all the back panels done. This is going by super fast, and I think it's probably because I am a faster crocheter now, and it's all in double crochet, because when I made this one originally, I feel like this one took me so long to make. Single crochet, double crochet. I'm gonna start the front panel now. So this is the back. For the front panel, I think what I might do is I might start the sides first, because the sides are gonna be exactly like this one here. When I did these 3 here, as you can see, I have to leave a little V there, and then I have to decrease. And honestly, I didn't do a real good job of doing this. I mean, again, I did it 3 years ago. I did it in December of 2022, and it is August of 2025. Oh my gosh, no. Look at it. He's got his little head on a pillow and everything. Hi. Oh, I just thought you were so cute. I had to say hello. Back to this. Yeah, I'm gonna work on the sides now. Yesterday, I only got one of the side pieces done for the front part because my black yarn got really tangled up. I really wanted to fix that before I started crocheting again. And then by the time I fixed it, I'm just like, I've lost all motivation to keep going on this. Here I am today. Can I get the whole front done? Maybe. Working on this and hopefully get as much done as I possibly can today. I'm very close to getting it done. I regret the colors I picked. I was thinking about this last night. White and black checker, although it is iconic, and 10 years ago me, would I have been into it 10 years ago? 15 years ago me, absolutely. Like that's something I would absolutely wear. Me now, not so much. I mean, I'm clearly wearing a pink shirt with loons on it, okay? Also, like, yes, I did find it. I found the classic Northern Reflection loon sweater at an estate sale the other day, along with some other really great sweaters. I made a TikTok and an Instagram reel about that, so, you know, if you don't follow me there, I do post videos and content there as well. But I did a little estate sale haul, and this was one of the things I found, and I'm so excited that I have it. Anyways, I was kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, I should have made it orange and brown. Like Like this one, I should have done that because like how cool would that have looked? I'm already not doing it exactly how hers is in the show. So like why would I do the same colors? We're just gonna have to see how it goes. I don't really have time right now to restart it. It's okay. Again, I love using this yarn. So if this method of blocking and sewing things together and like however I have to do it works out great, I can always do another version. I can do my own version. I could do something different. I'm just very upset that I thought about this now. I wish I would have thought about this like 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I could have halted what I was doing, gotten the other color that I wanted, and continued on. Because my other thing is I could have also done brown and black. I could also done orange and black. That being said, I may or may not dye this piece. I have to ask Stephanie at Central Pearl because she used to, I don't know if she does it anymore, but she used to dye yarn all the time. So I might get her opinion on it because it is acrylic yarn and I don't know how well dye will get, like we'll work on it. Anyways, let's just go over what I did. What I did is I got a claw clip and I clipped all the pieces together so they wouldn't get lost. And lost, I mean like I would hate it if I lost a piece, but also so then that way I know what's the front and what's the back. So these are all the back pieces, okay? All the back pieces are done. And that's another thing, is if I hadn't already done the front pieces and only the back pieces were done, then all I would have to do is just maybe redo the checkered ones and leave the black stripe ones, but it's too late now. For the front pieces, I got 2 of the side pieces done. And then I did the middle piece, which is like the V neck. And I did 1 of these. So this is gonna go like this. And then the V part which is gonna go like this, okay? Right, so it's going to continue up. Did I make this too small? No, 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 no. It's gonna stretch. We're gonna steam this thing and it's gonna stretch. All I have left to do is the other front black piece, like this piece here. I need to make another one here, so I have to make a whole one of that. Then I have to make the side panels. Now, this is where it gets, no, I wouldn't say tricky, but this is where it gets like interesting. When all the pieces are done, I'm going to block them before I sew them. But here's the thing, because I'm doing that, I don't know the side pieces. I don't know how wide I should make them. What I'm thinking is today at Crochet Club, I'm going to do the other piece. And then when I come home from Crochet Club, I'm going to pin them down and I'm gonna steam them all. I will sew them all together and then figure out the side panels. And then when I figure out how wide I want the side panels to be, I'll pin those, steam them, and then sew them on. Yes, Totoro? She just wants some attention. Yeah, so that is the plan today and hopefully it all goes smoothly. I want it to be this long. And I have my T-pins. I know I shouldn't be dumping these pins out on my bed, but it's just easier this way. What I really have to do is I want this to be more stretched out this way. So lengthwise, I think I did good. I steamed them and then I just unpinned them right away because they have gotten really flat. I do want to go over them one more time without the pins, so then that way the pins don't create any like weird shapes. Like you see how it's kind of like pulled a little bit this way, that's because like there was a pin there. Also just saying like with this particular yarn, I'm technically like melting it. I don't know if you can kind of see where it's kind of shiny. That's because it's melted. I've melted the yarn, but that's why I wanted to do this, because I want it to be really flat. So I think I might actually flip these so I don't over melt them. So I'll do it on both sides. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a little show and tell of what it looks like pre-steamed and steamed. So this is actually one of the front panels that I had to do the decrease on. They're still the same height, but as you can see, this one here, see how that like the drapiness of this, and then this one, see how there's not that real drapiness, right? You see how like this one lifts and like this one's like very floppy, and then this one not so much. This is the not steamed and this is the steamed. So this is why I wanted to steam it before I sewed them together. This is a steamed one, this is a non-steamed one. So do we see like the difference, right? This is very thick and this is like super thin now. I don't know if there's like that much of a difference that you can see if I put them together. It doesn't really look like there's a difference, but I think you can see what has been stretched out and what has not been stretched out. This is what I wanted to achieve, and hopefully it gives me the look that I was thinking about, or I went horribly wrong somewhere, but we'll just have to find out when it's done. Here are the back panels all laid out. Again, I did put the little stitch markers so I know which side is the right side and which side is the wrong side, meaning like the front side and the back side. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold them over like this and clip it down and then sew them all together. That's what my night is looking like, is me sewing. One side is all sewn up. I also noticed that, like, you know, with the sewing, it definitely creates a little bit of thickness. So I think I'm going to steam it again when all the pieces are done, just to flatten that a little bit more. But even just holding it, it is very nice and lightweight. So I'm very happy with that. And now on to the front panel. So I'm gonna go sew this and then I will come back when it's all sewn up. And the front piece is now all sewn together. Again, I do want to steam these lines just to get them a little bit more flat, but I already can feel a difference on how this feels compared to my other one. Kind of hard to film and steam at the same time. Just a light steam because I've already steamed it. I don't really need to do it as much. I sewed the front and the back together and I just pinned it at the top. I probably should have sewn it together last night, but I was just getting real tired and I didn't feel like it. I still haven't done the sides. That's today's problem. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. This might look a little open, but I'm going to be doing a border around it. The back, here's the sides. Now technically, yes, I could just sew the sides together and call it done, but I want it to be a little bit more flowy, and I feel like if I were to sew the sides together, it would be too tight here. I'm actually going to do half of one of these. So each square is 8 double crochets. The full panel of squares is 16. And so what I'm thinking is for the stripe or the panels on the side, I'm all going to just do 8. So it's just gonna be like this down, and I'm gonna be doing it in the black yarn, and it's just gonna go right here, and that will create flowiness. I just started working on the 2 side pieces and I look over and this little kitty cat is eating my book. He bit into the sticker. Wisps. He's like, I did no wrong. What are you doing now? You can't eat my book. Don't do it. Is he gonna do it again? Now I'm curious to see. No. No. Sir, no. Don't eat my book. He's just so cute. How could I not let him eat the book? Okay, but now I have to keep my book away from him. Attached both of the little side pieces, and I also gave him a quick steam along the sides here just to really flatten them out. I think one of them I might have accidentally melted a little bit too much. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a single crochet border around everything. So I'm gonna do a single crochet border on the bottom. I'm gonna do it one on both of the sleeve openings, and I'm gonna do one on the front here that is very open, and I'm not too sure if I like it or not, but we're just gonna have to see how it goes. And then I have to weave in so many ends, and I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. Maybe I'll just weave in the ends that you can see. There's a lot of ends to be woven in. I don't want to weave in the ends. I really don't, and there's so many of them. What was it? I saw a video today and somebody was saying that like weaving in the ends is like the worst part, and someone in the comments was saying something along the lines like,
why does everybody always like say this about weaving ends? It's just weaving in the ends.
It's the fact that everything is done and you're so close to wearing it and yet you can't because you have to weave in the ends. That's how I see it. I see it as like the final boss in a video game. You know, in order to beat the video game, aka wear the piece, you have to battle the final boss. The final boss to me is weaving in these gosh darn ends because I don't want to do it. Also, it is September the 3rd, and I'm pretty sure part 2 of season 2 of Wednesday comes out today, and I can't watch it until I weave these ends in. So you can see my frustration of why I don't want to weave these ends in. Vest is now done. I'm gonna be honest, I thought I was gonna be crocheting down to the wire with this one. I was just like, what have I taken on? Why have I done this to myself? And then I just got it done, and I'm honestly very surprised at how quickly that happened. 15 hours. This took me 3 more hours to do than my last week's vest, the fish fillet vest. That one took me 12 hours. This one took me 15. I don't understand, because I feel like the first version I did of this, it took me like 2 weeks to do. So I thought that this one was also going to take me like 2 weeks to do, and it didn't. For yarn, I think I only really used 2 skeins of the black and 1 skein of the white, so there wasn't a lot of yarn being used, and I overbought yarn because I thought I was gonna need more yarn, and now I have extra yarn. Although I have to say the Hayfield Bonus DK acrylic yarn is my favorite DK / lightweight acrylic yarn out there. Like, having extra white and black yarn, I am sure I will use it for something, and I'm sure my sister will use it for something. Here's the front of it, and then here's the back of it. I'm pretty sure I got all the tails. There were so many ends to weave in, I didn't think I was gonna do it all. So if you see an end, don't tell me, because to me they're all woven in, and I don't want to weave them in anymore. Also, you might hear some rain because it is raining and it's very gloomy out. Very fitting, though, that I finished this vest on a very gloomy day. That's kind of funny. The first version I do still have, obviously. You can see I did not make as many squares. I also did double crochet instead of single crochet. And I feel like that's probably why it didn't take me as long to do, because if I would have done this in single crochet, I probably would still be working on it today. The other thing that I did differently is in the original one, you can kind of see the yarn being pulled through behind the opposite color. And I did that for the original version, but I didn't do it for this because I felt like that was a waste of yarn and it would just add bulkiness. This is what I wanted this one to be, and I'm actually really happy with the outcome. I wasn't too sure because it's one of those things where I didn't really design it, so I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. I'm basing it off a TV show and whether or not it works, right? Also, like how the neckline of mine is a lot lower than the neckline of this one. I feel like the neckline of this was really high up, and I think it also had to do with the squares. I think I put it in the same spot. Because these are bigger squares, it's a lot lower than the smaller squares. Here's the difference between the two. I do like this one a lot better than this one. I mean, I love the smaller squares on this one. I love the fit of this one. This one's so nice and flowy and open, and I think it worked out pretty good, and I'm very happy with this. The side panel on the original one, I think I made the side panel just as wide, if not wider, than the 2 front pieces, like the 2 black stripes in the front. Whereas on this one, I did it in half, so the side piece right here is the same width as one of those squares. Personally, how I would style this, I really don't know because it's not really my colors, and that kind of gets me in the point that I should have picked different colors. Because when I first thought of doing this again, I'm like, well, I have to make it as like true to the original as possible. And if I were to done it in a different color, I would have either done black and brown, or I would have done brown and that one orange I was talking about. Not like an orange like this, it was like that burnt orange, which they do have in this color. I think that would have looked really good too. And then I'm kind of thinking if I should dye this, and let me know if any of y'all have dyed acrylic yarn, but I've asked my 2 friends who actually dye yarn for a living. They both said they've never dyed with acrylic yarn, so I'm a little skeptical at that because I don't want to like try to dye this and then like it turns out horrible. But will I wear it if I don't dye it? That's the question. So if you've dyed acrylic yarn before, let me know, because I would get brown dye and I would just put this whole thing in, and then hopefully like the white would turn a little bit brown, and if the black turned a little bit brown too, I'd be fine with that. But I just don't know how that's gonna work out, so I don't even know if I want to try it. I also want to show you the first version I did of this. So my first idea was I was just gonna make the whole panel one big piece. Honestly, I just didn't like how it turned out. So this is what it looked like. I felt that between the black stripe and the black checkered, it just kind of all went into like one piece, and I just didn't like it. Like, you from far away, like, yes, it looks like the pattern, but I feel like where I stitched this and the checkered, there's like a little bit of like an indent, a little bit of a line that kind of separates the black and the checkered and the black stripe. To me, feels and looks a lot better, whereas this I feel like was just like one big piece. I wasn't a fan of this. Also, this would have taken me so much longer to do because I was using like a bunch of yarn bobbins at once, and like unwinding the yarn bobbins, and then when you run out of the yarn on the bobbin, you got more yarn on the bobbin. Whereas this, I could just use yarn right from the skein, and that just was so much easier. Like, I'd rather do that and sew them together than do a giant piece like this. This was my very first time steaming things before I sewed them all together, and I think it turned out much better than it would have if I would have sewn everything together and then steamed it, because I feel that when I would have sewn it here and then steamed it down, I think that my sewing wouldn't have stretched, like where I sewed it wouldn't have stretched as much as this, and I feel like it would have still stayed tight tight, and I think it would have like gave it like some weird buckling kind of effects. I love how flat it went when you steamed it, although I have to say that you have to be very, very careful when you do this, because I might have melted a few of the pieces. When you melt them, they kind of get a little shiny. So whew, that was fun, especially like in the black yarn. It's kind of a bit more visible. It looks kind of like it melted because it's acrylic yarn. But can you beat the flowiness of this? Like, look how nice and flowy this is. This is exactly what I wanted. So melting it, I think, worked. And now you might be like, well, Michelle, you could go back and like melt this one. True, but I also just don't like the shape of this one to begin with. So I mean, maybe you'll try it, but I feel like I would wear this one over that one. Overall, it's cute. You know, is it me? Will I wear it? I don't know how to wear it. I think that's my problem, is when it's like more like pieces like this that I would describe as more edgy. I don't know what to do because I just like wearing sweaters with birds on it. You know, I don't really dress cool. I feel like I dress more like a grandma, grandpa most of the time, or a teenager from the 80s. Trying to figure out how I would wear this is kind of difficult. I mean, I did bring this one out. Maybe I will try this. It's like a brown velvet mock neck. Can you even tell? I feel like this part here, the black checkered in this, just kind of gets lost in this shirt. I think this shirt looks better if I would wear it with like a lighter color shirt. Probably not this one. I do have this one. Maybe I'll try it with like a mock neck shirt. Maybe that would work, because I don't think this one works. It's like I keep trying with vests, and vests just don't work for me. I like the ones that you tie up. This one's also okay. I'm just not the biggest fan of like a pullover vest. I like a vest with buttons, and I like a vest with the little ties. That's why I kind of give it a 7 out of 10. I probably could have constructed it a little bit better. Maybe picked better colors. So yeah, I definitely like this version better than the other one. Will I wear this one out? We'll have to see if I can style it how I would like to style it. You know, I'm very bad at styling things. Usually I just wake up and put a Northern Reflection shirt on and some mom jeans, and then I'm out the door. So, you know, wearing anything that looks somewhat cool or trendy, I don't know what to do with. So I think that does it for this video. So y'all have a good day now.